Now, Kerry will have a women's team in the 2025 Super League following an impressive National League playoff win, Division 1 final win, of course, over Swords Thunder at the weekend. I could nearly call out everybody that's here, but the show will be over before the end of it. But I'm going to start with Jim Delaney. Jim, obviously so much work has gone into this. I mean, the girls have been with me at the start of the season last year, and it kind of fell at the end, and they got to the start of the season this year, and there was a bit more hope this year and the whole lot. What was different this year from last year?
Well, basically the whole thing was a 2-year plan anyway. We actually could have gone up last year, but we decided no, we'd stay where we are and we'd grind it out for another year because we knew then we would do it. I mean, it's quite simple. The whole thing started about 2 years ago. Pre-COVID, we got going. Didn't happen obviously with COVID. It was just the whole concept, the whole crew, the committee, everybody just worked so well together. Probably the main thing was James Fleming, I suppose, as a coach. Arguably, in my view, best coach in Ireland. I don't know whether everybody agrees with that or not.
He'd probably argue himself against you, probably. He'd probably find somebody else out there.
But I mean, the whole thing was just the work ethic of the girls here. Fantastic, every one of them. I mean, they were training 2-3 nights a week. We had great people on board. We had a great committee behind us, keeping things going. People like we had Anya, Leah's mom. She was with us. Her dad, he was a great help to us. Carl, Kate Donlan, treasurer, ex-banker, kept everything going for us. Fantastic. Siobhan Bennett, secretary. Couldn't ask for more. It was fantastic all through, and that's, to me, how the whole thing worked. It was a whole team effort and everybody worked together, but primarily with the girls and their skills and their work ethic. That was the main thing that got us through. Yeah, and of course, Lynn Jones, you've been here a few times before, right? That's what you need to get there. You need a background team that's off the court as well as the team on the court to get you over the line as well. And there seems to be that lovely gel and mix of experience, but there's a great love of basketball with all those names. And Kate Donlan, I mean, gosh, I'm surprised she wasn't playing with you, that kind of way. I mean, there's a great love of that going back as well. Is that the kind of Killarney magic and that's the Killarney glue that was needed? Yeah, I suppose when I would have played, like, say, initially at the start, you saw it as just, the 12 on the floor. But I suppose as the years have gone on, I've realised the work that's gone in behind the scenes, and it couldn't have happened at all without all the people that were involved, the people that Jim mentioned, Jim himself. Boo came 2 years ago with the concept of going back to the National League, and people were humming and hawing, and how are we going to get there and how are we going to do it, and we're the players in the town. But it was made very easy for the 12 and the 15 to show up and train and just play, because it had all been taken care of in the background. Even up to Saturday, it was just seamless. The preparation was seamless. We flew up, we bussed across, we were fed. It was just calm, but that didn't happen by accident. All the people behind the scenes and like the paperwork that goes on, the administration that goes on, so that we can just take to the floor and do our thing. It's impossible without it. With all the boring talk done now. Yeah. Rianne, what was it like to win? Come on. Oh, it was incredible. It really was. I think I wasn't able to relax until the final whistle, to be honest with you. But we worked so hard all year. I suppose we fell short last year and it was disappointing, but we probably needed that extra year to mature and put in that extra work, and we're just a bit, say, Aidan Mahoney came on board. He gave us that extra bit of percentage just to build on our strength, our work and our hard working, say, defence, which we really, you could tell all season our defence was just top notch, which showed all year really. So it was massive. And Sophia, we needed a good defence the last day, because we weren't coming up against any slouches. They were the team that beat you already, so you knew what was in store. Yeah, I'd say the week before the game, James really prepared us, because they have great Americans and great Irish players, so we just had to dial in and make sure we stopped a few of their players, and he made sure that we were well prepared for Saturday. Yeah, and of course you had an alright game, 23 points. Yeah. You left a few behind, did you? Yeah, thanks. Come here, you were with the girls last year as well. Last year to this year, you're probably going to be St. Paul's legend now. They said you're going to get some poster up there somewhere. You're going to have the cup and the whole lot. What's your journey been like with this team? It's been amazing. Obviously they brought me back in October. I was somewhere else in September, but I was really happy to come back. I really love Killarney, love the girls, obviously love James as well, so it was just nice to be back. I just felt like home. So, and of course we got the win on Saturday, so even better. You have a new friend this year. Yeah.
Talk to me about your new friend. 18 points. Did you set up most for scores, Keisha?
Oh, I thought she was.
Oh yeah.
Said talk to me about your new friend. Yeah, I've had a good time. Came here with a goal in mind. Glad to accomplish it. With me, it's like simple. I come same thing every day, same routine. Come to handle business, hang out, and go to bed and do it again the next day. So yeah.
And talk about handling business. I mean, you were with a team, First Division, won all their games bar one. Maybe we won't mention the cup. That was kind of whatever happened in the poor cup. Okay, but I mean, your journey with the team through this season.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like when I first got here, because it was in October, I just was like, all right, let's do it. Like, they had already started and I had already established something, so I just need to find my footing to see where I fit in and what I could do. I'm a player who likes to impact the game in more ways than just scoring, but at times I have to score. Yeah. So I'm like stepping into a different role. I play more of the guard this year when I've naturally been like a 4 or 5 player. So it's been a lot of new things, new learning, trying to take more leadership role as well.
And do you enjoy that then? Do you enjoy being asked do something that you're not comfortable with, do something that you haven't done before, or maybe you have done 10 years ago and now all of a sudden you have to take it out of the locker?
No, yeah, for sure. I enjoyed it. It's something that, I asked for, a different look, a different style. I've always been consistent in the area that I've played all my life, but coming out here was a different challenge for me to see if I could step up to the plate and accomplish something different.
Absolutely. You're accomplishing something every day of the week at this moment, Leah, aren't you? Oh. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you surely have the shyness gone now at this stage. Come on, I was reckoning she's been on the show about 4 times, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, football, soccer, basketball a couple of times. Surely you have a few words in your tonight, have you?
I do.
What was the win like? What was it like when the final buzzer went?
Oh yeah, it was brilliant. I think especially when we lost last year, it made this year extra sweeter. Like,
Was last year a real downer when you lost? I mean, obviously a basketball game, you kind of know maybe a bit out that it's a big ask and you mightn't make it to the end. I mean, they don't all go down to buzzer beaters, and you kind of know the other team have the better. But this year was different from the word go, was it?
Yeah, I suppose last year we weren't sure if we wanted to go SuperLeague, so we had a bit of a different outlook on it. But this year we knew we were ready to go up. So, like when you're in the match, you always want all those thoughts go away. You just want to win, like. But it was brilliant. Like it's a long season as well, so I think to get a win, it makes it all worthwhile.
And it is a long season, Lynn Jones. I mean, it starts last September. You're going to tell me now August or July, maybe. I suppose
we kicked off in August. Yeah,
did you?
With pre-season, and we're not finished yet. Like, there's another potential month in it again. Like, so it is a long season. You're looking at maybe 8-9 months of the year.
And does that drain on a team then? Because obviously, I mean, it's not a football team where you have 35 players and you have another 10. You have what you have. Maybe you're 15, or sometimes you might have an extra couple of players. Training, injuries. You only lost the one game, the whole lot. But the travelling, the journeys, like all the games aren't at home, aren't they?
No, there's a nice bit of travelling. We were only discussing coming back in the car, but I suppose that's what the panel is there for. We've been extremely lucky all year long. Really, the numbers have been great. I suppose when you're winning, it's easier to get out and go training. I suppose when you have a few heavy losses, no doubt we were lonesome, the week after the cup and stuff, but we just got back on track. I think people are probably getting close to ready for a break now, because it has been a long season. Like, the girls away from home a long time, and we're out 2 and 3 nights a week, but it's easier to do obviously when you're winning. When you're on the road and winning, you don't feel it. But there is, as I said, there's another month to go. All right, please God.
Yeah, there's one man who deserves a break in the Walsh. I mean, Jesus almighty, he's writing reports faster than the result comes in most of the time. I don't know how he manages it, and so much detail. I'm not going to read the 16 pages of the match report. Basically, he won. You enjoy it. I mean, obviously, look, it's well known that you've had a difficult time over the last while, and I suppose we're still kind of raw about it, but this has given you a nice out as well, hasn't it?
Oh, it has, yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this. When James asked me to give the girls a hand last year with the PR, I was very conscious that they were the only Kerry team in the National League, and they were representing the town but also the county, so I wanted to make sure that they had the right profile. So it was very important just to get the reports out to all the local media and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed the games this year, and I definitely saw something different in them this year. There was more kind of they were very gelled this year, and to be honest, it was a pleasure, and all I wanted to do was do justice, because they were doing all the good work. My job was easy. all I had to do was report what they were doing. So I just wanted to do justice for them as well. So we were happy. I was very happy last Saturday above Dublin. So Kerry people have had a lot of hard days in Dublin, and we really enjoyed last Saturday. Yeah,
absolutely. And I have to give a big shout out to Billy Mangan's bus as well, because poor Billy drove you up and down, I think, or maybe he left.
He drove an empty bus up. He peace on the way up, but not on the way down.
If I could come in there now for a second there, that when we started first, we had Padraig Harnett with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Great Padraig. Radio Kerry.
Friend of Radio Kerry and worker.
When he passed away, it was like a shock to everybody, as we all know.
And a great fan of basketball.
He was never off the phone, looking for information, looking for statistics, looking for this, looking for that. It was terrific. It was fantastic. When it happened, we were like, whoop. We were so lucky that Enda filled his shoes and came up with us. And full acknowledgement Enda for that. He was absolutely brilliant all year round, and the stuff that he's produced, and his pre-game writings, his reporting on games has been fabulous for us. And general PR he's done, so we were very, very lucky there.
How important is that to the sport, Rianne, that you go out, you play your basketball games? Maybe in the old days you played them, and sure, somebody might have texted somebody and said they won or they lost or whatever, but now it's appearing in print. Maybe still not as much as the other gang, but it is appearing, it is there. More people are conscious of it, and even the people that didn't go to Dublin the last day, I would say a lot of people knew that you were in a final. A lot of people knew that you were playing in Dublin, and when that build-up is there, a lot of people want to know whether you win or lose as well. So a lot of people know that story.
Yeah, no, it has been unreal. Even into there is just incredible. Like, we're nearly afraid there's people and teams scouting us through the reports. At times they're so good, but like, even the support we had the weekend was incredible. Like, even last year, like, in fairness, they travelled up on the Saturday. We played our semi-final Saturday last year, and we had to play then the final on the Sunday, so it was very hard for the supporters to stay up all weekend. Whereas this weekend it was so well organised. Like, they all came up in the bus, they sat in the middle. I think Jim McCartan did it off for them. They were well seen and heard as well. Yeah, so, and it was just amazing to give it back to them, really, like, because all our families have been through it all year, really, up and down the country with us, so it was lovely to give back to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Two here, did you ring home straight away, family? Did you say, my God, we won something at long last? Surely you rang home. Or are you saying we won something? Well, in the Irish terminology, she's going to say, no, we won about 1,000 things. But being part of this family and sharing that story with your family.
Yeah, for sure. I know my mom, she watched every game like this season, so, you know, she's been following along. But just winning, like, at the end, especially being here like 4 years now, like, it was like something special, and especially celebrating with like a great group of girls too. Like, that's what was like cherry on top.
Does your mom ring you now and say, "Oh, Sophia, why did you do that"?
Yeah, there's been like the cup game. Yeah, that was probably not really the greatest.
What did your mom say after the cup game? Go on.
She was wondering if I wanted to hang up my shoes, you know, call it quits. Yeah, it was not great, but you know what? We pushed through and got the job done at the end of the day. So just needed that extra, you know, kick in the butt.
Did you get any family advice?
Nah, they know their place. You know, if I need the advice, I'll ask for it and they'll tell me. But other than that, you know, they're just supporters the whole time. They watch every game, they check in, they ask how I felt out there, so they're more on that side. A lot of them aren't, you know, they haven't played or done certain things that I've done, so they just are trying to be on the supportive side.
Yeah. And that actually is a very good point. I mean, a lot of people will look at basketball and they'll say, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they score? Why are they doing that? Why are they not using this one? Why have they 7 people on the bench and they still use the same 5 or maybe 1 or 2? And they don't get it, they don't understand it. But the people that do know will appreciate this result, will they?
Yeah, for sure. Like, when you've been in this predicament and you've been out there and you know the certain reads and the certain plays, you just understand, versus when you're just like, you know, I'm mom out there, I've been watching you since you were in middle school, just want you to do good. Like, so that's how my godmom is and stuff.
Absolutely. Of course, there is one man that watches every play, coaches every play, shouts at every play. He was quite a dish, Charlene, was he?
Very calm on Saturday. He was strangely calm. In fact, we were waiting for the storm, it didn't come. But I think I think Sophia hit the first, I'd say 8-10 points.
Yep.
He turned around to me and said, "We're good here," and he knew it from the office. There's another 39 minutes to go, but he said, we're good here. And I think at half time, he did frighten us all at half time. Actually, he had an interesting statistic that the cup game we lost to Cavan early on during the year, we were up 12 at half time and blew it.
Okay.
Last year against Portlaoise in the final, we were up 12 at half time and blew it. And then he comes along and says, "Girls, look at the score, you're up 12, don't blow this."
Yeah, we were all.
I turned around and I said, "Third time lucky," and he started. But I think he knew. And in fairness, as I think Sophia alluded to earlier, like the preparation was done, and he had him down to a T.
Yeah.
He knew what they were going to do before they knew themselves.
We were remembering those games, and we were all biting our nails at half time.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a strange,
It's amazing. 12 points is turned over.
Time lucky. But I was on the bench towards the end with Rianne, and we were sitting beside each other, and the clock was ticking, and there was 20 points, and we still couldn't believe it ourselves. But he was kind of backing up his bags, ready to go. He knew, I think he had a feeling.
He was getting ready for the Super League.
He was. He's scouting already, I'd say.
Well, what we'll do is we'll put a phone call into him. I think he's on the other end of the phone. We'll give him a buzz. We'll take a quick break, and hopefully we'll have the man that likes to be down 12 points at half time, James Fleming. There you go. Now you're very welcome back to Terrace Talk, and of course we're talking basketball. We've spent a good bit of time talking basketball in the last number of weeks, and of course we're here with the Utility Trust St.Pauls team celebrating their Division 1 final win. And of course we have the cup here. Inda is currently going to inscribe it. Some of the teams, of course, Marie, Trinity, Portlaoise, of course we won't mention them, they were on it last year, God help us. But one man's name who was always destined to be on it, and of course his team is James Fleming. He's on the line. James, congratulations first of all. It's just as well you didn't arrive over, because we've no chairs for you anyway. I mean, they've taken every seat on the bench here, but it must be an incredibly proud moment for yourself, because I mean, look, if I had to put a short list together of people who I would regard as real basketball people, you'd be on that list every time. What does it mean for you personally to have achieved this?
Yeah, I suppose, look, I suppose we've won a lot down through the years with St.Pauls, and I won a lot with Father Matthews in the Super League and Division 1 Cups, but in all my years coaching we've never won a National League in any level, Division 1 or Super League, so it was actually quite sweet, but I suppose it was all about the players and the commitment they put in throughout the year and throughout last year. Like, I suppose last year is in the past now, and look, we don't dwell on it. And we did blow the league against Portlaoise, and this year above in Cavan, I suppose she put down, like, we played Cavan above, we were 12 points up, and I made a decision at half time in that game, and I know I got it wrong, and it backfired on us, and I can put up my hand and I take responsibility for that. But since then I think that the girls have just bought in, and Aid Manny coming in and doing the strength and conditioning every Tuesday for the last 5 or 6 months in the gym and getting their strengths up and everything. But yeah, it was sweet, especially the amount of work that was done outside of basketball, outside of the hall, and the preparation, and trying to get nationally back in Killarney, and giving young kids in Kerry an opportunity now to aspire maybe to play the Super League, and come to Killarney and play for Killarney. While we are Killarney, like we've a lot of players from the surrounding areas, and yeah, it's great to be competing with, as I said, to be going up there with the Brunels and the Killesters and seeing all these great players coming to Killarney, and like, as a coach, I suppose you aspire to coach against all these players and see can you come up with strategies to compete against them.
Mm-hmm. And of course, St. Paul's have a huge history of basketball, and everybody talks about the men's side, but St. Paul's ladies were in the Super League before, weren't they?
Yeah, we were there. I think we went. I was trying to figure it out. I think 2001 we went. 2001 we were in the Super League for about 4 years. We never really won anything, but we were competitive in the Super League. I think we were beaten in a league playoff final one year by a very, very good UL team. When we had Sarah Cartmel, and Lynn was there at the time. She's been there since the very beginning. And James Weldon was the coach. I was assistant with him, and we won under 19 cup with the Lyns and the Moraids and the Dianes of all them, and a couple of senior cups. Yeah, it's great. It is great for the town. It's great to be back. I think St. Paul's, as a club, have only won. This is their second National League. I played in the first one. We won a men's Division 1 to get the men's back to Super League. That's going back 25, maybe 30 years ago, nearly now, 25 years anyway.
God, you're aging everybody, James, here. And you've aged Lynn anyway when you said an under-19 cup in 2001, 2 or 3.
It was actually 2003, but no, I suppose no matter what you do outside of basketball, whether it's with Irish teams or whether it's with other clubs you coach, to win it with your own people and to win it with the people and the families that who they're part of, and the people who are involved in the club that have your back and they respect you, and it's just amazing. And I have very good people involved with me. I know Jim's mentioned all the Siobhan Bennett's and the Onyas and the Case and himself and Enda, who did serious work. But I have a man there from Castle Island who travels everywhere with me, Vince Barry, and he's capable of saying anything or doing anything, but he's a great guy, and he comes everywhere with me. And then we have Christina Bartlett, who's my assistant coach, but she's really my bodyguard, and that if anyone comes near me, she's around.
There's no messing with Christine, is there?
No, she's around to back me up, but she's an absolute great girl. But yeah, I used to look to win it and to see Lynn and Rianne, two girls that I've seen their careers develop since they were, I suppose, 9, 10, 11 years of age to where they're at now, has just been phenomenal. But I suppose, look, we wouldn't have done it without the two girls we have. Kai came in October, and it's just been a breath of fresh air to the team, what she brings in her attitude and just the way she is as a person. I think she's here since October she came in. I've never heard her say a bad word. She's just a so genuine, honest type of girl. And then you have Sophia. We go back a long way. I had Sophia in Limerick, and the respect I have for her, she knows it on and off the court. We have that special respect for each other, and it's great that they've helped us get over the line, and I couldn't have asked to do it with a different point with any other girls.
Absolutely. And listen, James, thanks very much. We'll let you off because Lynn Jones is meant to talk to me again. Cool.
No matter, Don.
Thanks very much, James Fleming, of course, and that's the winning coach. Don't worry, girls, he said lovely things about you. Maybe not so much. You're not messing with Kai anyway. Come here. James mentioned something there about winning it for the people that had his back, for the people that he's mad about, the town, that kind of build up. Ryan O'Shea, it's great to win it with your own people as well. It's great to win it with your St. Paul's Killarney badge on you, and even though you have a bit of help from other girls from other sides coming into, it's still that Killarney badge, it's still that team. Speak to me about how important that is for you.
Yeah, it's massive. Like, I suppose going to college, I grew up playing with St. Paul's, but and won a cup when I was 16. I went on to college then and played with Glanmire, and then went on then and played with Castle Island as well, trying to get closer to home. I suppose that feeling Saturday, it doesn't get much better than that, really, winning with your family around you, girls that you grow up with. There's James Fleming, like, he's an incredible coach, like, so it really was just the icing on the cake. And to have the Killarney playing at the top level again just means so much, like, to everyone, really. Killarney have a huge a tradition of basketball, and to have it back, like, competing with the top teams in Ireland, is just, can't dream of that, really.
Absolutely. That's probably your mother ringing, Sophie. Probably said something you shouldn't have said. Lynn Jones, I mean, you're back at the Super League. Killarney will be there next year. I don't think anybody around the table is fooled in the sense that the level will move up, the standard will move up. Jim said something interesting. There was a 2-year project. We weren't going to get there till we were good and set and ready. It seems that you have the concrete block at behind with the committee, the players, the squad, the panel, the fantastic players we have here. That step up is still big, though.
Yeah, I think the step up would be phenomenal, but I think the time is right. Just looking at the age profile of the team, I suppose, and the experience that they're bringing with the mix of youth and experience, now is the time. I felt we had to get the win on Saturday. I think you could knock around in Division 1 for much longer. I think it's worth the punt. It's hard to know how it'll work out, because there are huge teams involved, of course, but I mean, I suppose you'd be hoping to get in, maybe ruffle a few feathers along the way. you may not be competing for, you know, silverware in your first year, but that'll be okay. You target, I suppose, teams at the start of the season that you might, you know, pick the win off. And it'd be all about building experience, really, like, and giving girls the taste of it. Like, you have Leah sitting here at, you know, 17, 18 years of age. It'd be a travesty for her if she doesn't get to play Super League. So I think if we didn't make it this year, I have a feeling we might not have seen it for another while. So for me, it's now or never to give it a try. And I think the timing is right. You know, I'm sure James will probably recruit 1 or 2 players, build on the experiences in the team, and you'd be surprised they could take a few out along the way, you know, and cause a few upsets along the way, absolutely.
And of course it is a journey in the now you're Super League next year. You get 15% extra now next year, would you?
Oh yeah.
Or you're right a bit late.
15% extra work
paid by the successful word. Another thing that's very important to today's game, I suppose we touched on the media side of it, but support, getting people in the door. I mean, you got an incredible amount of people through the praise to watch that game, but you need to build on that again. I mean, obviously there's probably nothing more depressing than watching a game with maybe your friends and your family and 6 more people. I mean, you do need people in the door, you do need people watching, you do need people supporting, and there's only so much of my little sister can come in the door. But I mean, how do we break that? How do we get more in? How do we get people in the door? I mean, it's a fantastic project. I love basketball. I put you in charge of my under 14 team one night, but that was a bit that didn't work out. But go on, what's the sport like?
I suppose in general women's sport is riding the crest of a wave at the moment. You see the GA as well getting record attendances, and I think the most important thing for women's sport now is to keep building the profile. And if you build the profile, people will come. Like, we put a big effort now into that game in the Pres Gym. You know, we did a lot of work beforehand, and we got a great crowd in. If you didn't tell the people it wasn't on, they wouldn't have come. You know, so I think the most important thing is keep trying to build the profile of women's sport, because women put in just the same amount of effort as men, and I think it's awfully important that you build that profile and let people know it's on, and they will come. And basketball is a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an awful even outside. You could be at a basketball game and your shots leaves tonight. Yeah. Do you know, so it is an attractive game to go. So it's a great spectacle, and it's indoors, and I think that's a big advantage for it. But it's also very important that you keep building the profile.
Yeah, and of course the other side of the coin there, Lynn, and we'll wrap up in a minute, is it doesn't have to be ladies have to support you. I mean, it's a sport. People love sport. I'll watch the sport because there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. There's going to be somebody throw a 3-pointer. There's going to be some great rebounds, and it's that message too. It's the support you want in the door.
Yeah, we take anybody, you know, to come to watch us, the sport. As I say, we came out of the dressing room from our speech with James at before the match on Saturday, and I got a fright with who had arrived, you know, all the way from Dublin. Huge crowd. Like, it wasn't down local in the Pres or the Aura or any of these gyms. They travelled all the way to Dublin to see us, and the noise they made was just ferocious. And I think for me, it really just made me realise how important the job we had done all season was. You know, we had given them a reason to come to Dublin. People came, you know, to see us win. And I mean, people are talking, they're inside in bathrooms at half time. Will they do it? Will they not? It's 12 points, here we go again. But like, people made a huge effort to come. Like, the Pres was full the week before, and for me, ladies basketball, I'd go watch it 7 nights a week if I could, you know. That's not to say I wouldn't watch men's basketball, I would, but you're going to get bang for your buck if you come to see any female basketball game, like, because like, as Enda said, we train as hard as the men, we put everything into it. My fear would be we'll never be on par, but you know, maybe it's improving, and to keep it going from now, like, and I do hope that the sport will come out again next year for us, and get bodies in the seats, because they won't be disappointed, I think, when they do come to see it.
Jeez, that's good team talk in the gym.
Absolutely, yeah, couldn't do better.
Assistant coach in the making, is it?
If she'd ever play again, she'd be PR. She'll do fine for that.
She'll take Inda's job. Inda can go head coach. Good stuff. Well, listen, girls, congratulations. It is fantastic. It's great that you're in the Super League. We will be covering you next year. Your mum will be watching you, of course. Kyle will be taking her own advice from her own people, okay? Which is great as well. And it's great to see you all involved. And I suppose, look, the one thing about it is that we do have your back, and we will have your back next year as well.